Hello everyone, welcome back to Anatomy at Easiest. Now today's video is made for identification of all the vertebrae. I am just discussing those points on the basis of which you can differentiate between the cervical, thoracic and lumbar region vertebrae. Also some points on sacrum and its anatomical position, how it is placed in our body. So let's start. Now these are the vertebrae which are present in human body. Now there are total 33 vertebrae which are present in the vertebral column, also called as the spine of the backbone. Out of the 33 vertebrae, all are divided according to the regions in which they are present, like cervical, then thoracic, then lumbar, then sacral, and then the coccygeal. Now these vertebrae are kept according to the regions in which they are present. This first row is of cervical vertebrae. In cervical region 7 vertebrae are present. Then these two rows are of thoracic vertebrae. In thoracic vertebrae 12 vertebrae are present. This is of lumbar. In lumbar 5 vertebrae are present, and this one is the sacrum. Now sacrum and here the coccygeal is present. Actually in sacrum 5 vertebrae are present, 5 sacral vertebrae which fuse together to form a single triangular piece of bone which is called as sacrum. So you can easily identify this is the sacrum, a triangular bone with some foraminas, upper vertebrae like body, and on side these lateral processes, these lateral mass or lateral substance is present, on which auricular surface is present, to which the hip bone articulate. So this is the identifying feature of sacrum, just a triangular piece of bone with concavity anteriorly, some foraminas, a body of vertebrae can be seen superiorly, and lateral masses are present. Now on its apex, on the apex of sacrum, this bone is articulated. This is the coccygeal bones. Now coccygeal vertebrae are 4 in number, and they fuse together to form a single coccyx which is often attached to the apex of sacrum bone. In some of the sacrum this is not present, whereas in some this is present. So they are attached to the apex of the triangle of sacrum. This is a triangular, so at the apex coccyx is attached. Now for sacrum, this is its apex and this is its base. For the anatomical position of sacrum, we have to keep this foramen straight looking upwards like this. When you hold this, then this foramen should face upwards. So sacrum is slightly tilted. The anterior surface is the smooth one. The posterior surface is the rough one with some projections here. And this canal must face straight upwards. The anterior margin of this part, the body of first sacral vertebrae, the anterior margin makes around angle of 30 degrees with the coronal plane, or it is tilted around 30 degrees anteriorly. So this is the anatomical position of sacrum, like this, not straight but like this, and the apex, to the apex coccyx is attached. Then we come to cervical vertebrae first. Now how to identify the cervical vertebrae? First of all, there are 7 vertebrae in cervical region. We talk about typical vertebrae. Now you can see a typical cervical vertebrae. As you all might be knowing the particular features of a vertebrae, that the vertebrae is having a body, transverse process, pedicle, lamina, spine, superior articular process and inferior articular process. I am repeating: the body, the transverse processes, the spine, the lamina, superior articular process and the inferior articular process. After talking about the general features of a vertebrae, We should also know that there are two types of vertebrae present. First is typical vertebrae and second are atypical vertebrae in each region. Now, what are typical and what are atypical vertebrae? The vertebrae which are having all the features common in a particular region are called as typical ones, and the vertebrae which are having some features different from the typical one are called as atypical vertebrae. Now, first we come to the cervical region. How to identify a typical vertebrae in the cervical region? Let's take this vertebrae. Now, in this vertebrae, you can see all the cervical vertebrae are smaller in size as compared to the other ones. In cervical region, as I said, there are 7 vertebrae. Out of the 7, C3 to C6. C3 to C6 vertebrae are typical ones, and C1, C2 and C7 are atypical vertebrae. Now, the common feature of typical vertebrae or the identifying feature of typical vertebrae are: first, the body is small, then a large vertebral foramen as compared to the body. Then the most identifying or unique feature of cervical vertebrae is the presence of a foramen in the transverse process. This is the transverse process, and in the transverse process a foramen is present which is called as foramen transversarium. And this foramen transversarium divide the transverse process into anterior and posterior root and tubercles respectively. Then the second most important feature, that the spine is bifid of the typical cervical vertebrae. The spine is bifid and there is a foramen transversarium present in the transverse process. These are the two peculiar features on which you can identify the cervical vertebrae. Now, in the cervical region, this is C1. You can very well see that C1 is a ring-shaped bone with no body and no spine, but a foramen is present in the transverse process. So, this is the C1 vertebrae. Second is the C2. C2 is also called as axis vertebrae. Why it is called as axis? Because this upward projection, which is called as odontoid process, forms an axis on which the C1 rotates like this. So, this is called as axis and this is called as atlas. Here the spine is bifid again and a foramen is present. Then next is C7. Now, in C7 the spine is not bifid. The most important feature, that the spine is not bifid. It is the first spine which can be felt on the vertebral column, on the back of vertebral column. That's why this vertebrae is also called as vertebra prominens. And the transverse process, the foramen which is present can be double foramen, like in this transverse process, can be single or it might be absent also. So, foramen transversarium can be single, can be double, or can be absent also in the 7th cervical vertebrae. So, this is the vertebra prominens or the C7. Then we come to the thoracic vertebrae. In thoracic region, the typical one are from thoracic 3rd to thoracic 8th vertebrae, and the thoracic 2nd to thoracic 8th vertebrae, and the atypical one are first thoracic vertebrae, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th and 12th. Now, first of all, the features of typical one. You can see that the body here is heart shaped and body is larger as compared to the cervical ones. The vertebral foramen is small as compared to the cervical and compared to the body. Then the transverse process are long and a facet is present on the transverse process where the neck, the tubercle of rib articulates. Then the most identifying feature of thoracic vertebrae are on the bodies near the pedicle facets are present. What are the facets for? For the articulation of the ribs. As ribs articulate with the vertebrae of thoracic region to form the rib cage, so on the body's facets for the head of ribs are present. This is the most particular identifying feature of thoracic vertebrae. Then the spine. Spine is long, pointed and present obliquely. These are superior articular processes, these are inferior articular processes. So the peculiar features, the body is heart-shaped, transverse processes are long with facets for the tubercle of ribs. On the body, costal facets are present to articulate with the ribs, and the spine is long and oblique. These are the features of all typical thoracic vertebrae. Now some atypical ones. This is T1, then T9, T10, T11, T12. In all these, some one or two features are different as compared to all of the thoracic vertebrae. We will study that in a separate video. Then comes the lumbar vertebrae. Now very clearly seen that lumbar vertebrae are massive in size as compared to all the other vertebrae. There are 5 bones in this region, and out of the 5, the first to fourth are atypical and the fifth one is first to fourth are typical and the fifth one is atypical. Now the features, characteristic features of a lumbar vertebrae: the body is massive, very massive, no costal facets as no ribs articulate, the transverse processes are thin and tapering, see. The spine is a plate-like structure, quadrilateral plate-like structure, not bifid, not oblique. And the superior and inferior articular process. On the transverse process, a tubercle is present which is called as accessory process, and on the superior articular process, a separate body is present which is called as mammillary process. Okay. Identifying or peculiar features: the body is massive, the transverse processes are thin and tapering, the spine is quadrilateral plate-like structure, and the superior inferior articular processes. Now there is a special relation between the distances of superior and inferior articular processes. In the first, second and third, the superior ones are far away as compared to the inferior one, and the distance slowly decreases. In the L4, they are at the same level. The distance between them is equal, and in the fifth one, the inferior ones are far away as compared to the superior one. So, superior, inferior, this distance decreases. At L4, they become at equal, and at L5, the inferior one are widened apart. So, the peculiar feature of the typical vertebrae. Then the fifth, this is atypical one. This is the largest vertebrae with a massive body. In all the 5 one, this is the largest one. The distance between the inferior articular processes is more as compared to the superior one. The spine here is not plate-like, it is somewhat pointed, rounded apex, and the transverse process here are not thin and tapering, but they are pyramidal in shape. So these are lumbar vertebrae. These were all the features of all the vertebrae. Now if I mix them, and I ask to pick any one vertebrae and to identify. Suppose I picked up this vertebrae. Now first point, you have to look for foramen transversarium. If there is some foramen present in the transverse process, here no. So it is not of cervical region. Then second point, to look at the spine. If spine is bifid, then of cervical region. If spine is long and oblique, then of thoracic region. And if spine is quadrilateral plate-like structure, then of lumbar region. So we can say that it is of thoracic region. Then the point of confirmation for thoracic region, presence of facets on the body. The confirmatory point, presence of facets on the body. So this vertebrae is of thoracic region. Now let's pick another vertebrae. this one. In this one, first point to see, the confirmatory point, the foramen transversarium. Yes, it is present, so obviously it is of cervical region. Also the spine is bifid, so confirmatory, it is of cervical region. Then let's pick this one. The body is massive with no facets. Transverse process is small with no foramen, no cervical, not thoracic. Spine is quadrilateral plate-like, so it is of lumbar region. And sacrum, you can very well easily identify a large triangular piece of bone with posterior rough surface and anterior smooth surface. All about the main identifying features of all the vertebrae. The separate or the distinguishing features between the individual vertebrae of any region will be discussed in the detailed videos of vertebrae of any particular region. Then there, the typical and atypical features of all the vertebrae will be discussed, and their attachments will also be discussed. This video was just to identify the main this video was just to learn about the main identifying features, so you can identify or you can discriminate between the vertebrae of different region. Hope it will be helpful for you, and thank you so much for watching my video. If you like, please share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.